And welcome again, dear friends, to another edition of Fresh Bread. Well, it's the weekend edition of Fresh Bread. How about that? We are on the Saturday after Thanksgiving. It is Saturday, November the 27th, 2021. Well, the month of November is just about over, folks. And you know what that means? It means Advent is going to be starting tomorrow, Sunday, November 28th, 2021. You know, it's interesting. I am aware of the different times of the season for the United Methodist Church and other churches that really do give some credence to some of the seasons of the year. I guess you could call them the church seasons. And I think there's a reason for that. I've also been in churches where you wouldn't even know it was Easter until Easter Sunday. There's very little pre-activity or attention given to the season of Lent. Some denominations really don't even observe Lent, to be honest, and others do. And I don't think there's a right or wrong. I've kind of been on both sides of the equation in terms of being in different churches that did things differently, and I can see all sides really, and I don't think one's really any more correct than the other. The one thing I kind of have come down to is this, that I believe as long as we're not worshiping the season, that we're using that as a way for us to remind ourselves that we need to be ever mindful of the things of the Lord as we move into our deepening faith, that it's a good thing. And if it takes having seasons like Lent or Advent, which is again the 4 Sundays before Christmas, if we have to use those to get us closer to Christ, I'm all for it. If it's just another ritual that the church goes through that we don't really have a lot of understanding for, or we don't really pay a lot of attention to other than we just know it's that time of year to celebrate it, then I would question whether that's something we really want to keep doing. So my goal is that we would focus on Christ every Sunday, no matter what the church calendar says. And as we go through this particular time here now of Advent starting tomorrow, that we would just, again, be ever mindful of the arrival of Christ. And I look at that as we know Christ has already arrived, and then that he has arrived on earth as a human being, fully man, fully God, that he's going to come again someday as the coming King and our great Prince of Peace. So we understand these things, and I think that if it helps us to just remind ourselves of these things, then so much the better. So I hope that's what it means. But you know, even more than that, I think it's important to remember that this is a time of year to recognize the arrival of Christ, not only in the world 2,000 years ago, but the arrival of Christ into our hearts and into our lives. And that it's a daily thing. We have to invite Christ in, I believe, every day. And it's not something we just do once and think that we're good to go, but that we bring him in every day. We make that conscious choice. Lord, today I invite you into my life. I want you to be the one that's controlling my life, to give me the insights, the revelation, the wisdom that comes from knowing you. And if we do that, I believe God's going to honor our desires and he's going to bless us for that. So it's just something to be aware of. And again, these seasons have great significance for us if we use them in the proper way, which again, I believe is how we use them as a kind of a way of getting closer to the Lord. And if that's what they're all about, then I'm all for them. And so I pray that's what we'll have here for these next few weeks of Advent. Tomorrow, of course, being the first Sunday of Advent. Well, let's talk a little bit about some of the things coming up in our church here in Topeka, both Kansas Avenue and Oakland. I believe we'll have some special opportunities. Some of these will be for both churches combined, and one of them will be on Wednesday evenings. We'll be doing a light supper at 5:30, followed by the Advent service around 6. It'll last about 45 minutes. We'll have some music. We'll have a little devotional. We hope to have some people from the congregation come up and say a few words just about what Advent means for them in terms of the coming of Christ into their lives. And so we want people to feel free to share. We'd like to get more of that going on in our churches. And again, this will be for both Oakland and Kansas Avenue. We're going to have these services at 5:30 p.m. in the Fellowship Hall at Kansas Avenue United Methodist Church, 1029 North Kansas Avenue in the Noto Arts District of North Topeka. So feel free to come. Bring your friends. And again, it'll be a lot of fun. It'll be very laid back. It'll be down the Fellowship Hall. Again, we'll have some music going for Christmas season. We'll have some praise music, some Christmas music, and then we'll have some encouragement, I believe, from God's Word, and hopefully some sharing from some of you. Well, friends, thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you in church tomorrow. Remember, 9:30 a.m. at Oakland and 11 a.m. at Kansas Avenue for the services. Don't forget The Chosen at 6 o'clock, I should say at 5 o'clock. The Chosen at 5 o'clock Sunday at Kansas Avenue. God bless you. Have a great day.